What time is it? Oh, it's the most wonderful time of the day. There'll be book lists we're showing and copies we're holding and games that we'll play. It's the most wonderful time of the day. Hi friends, we're here for Vlogmas. Today is day 12 of Vlogmas. So excited. We are almost halfway to the Christmas part of the Vlogmas challenge. If we keep going for 30 days, then we're not quite halfway. But if we only go to the 24th of December, then today's our halfway video, which is exciting. We're here today for something special. Every day is special, like, let's just be fair, every day is special. But today we're going to be announcing the books for the Run Right Reads Book Club reading list in 2023, which I'm really excited about, because the Run Right Read Book Club, Run Right Reads, because the Run Right Reads Book Club focuses, at least it has been for the past couple of years, focuses on reading Caribbean books. And so 2023 we're going to be continuing that trend, and we're going to be doing some cool things. One of the books is not even just a book. I'll explain. So before I go through the book list, I'm going to make a general announcement. So one of the things that we're going to be doing in 2023 is we're going to be not quite relaunching, but we're going to be building up our Patreon presence. I know it looks like I just crawl out of bed and turn on the camera, and I do sometimes, but every now and then I have to do some work to keep this channel going and to keep the book club going. And it would be nice if I could make it a little bit more of a self-supporting thing. So one of the things I'm going to be doing on Patreon is I'm going to be offering some things over there. So if you support me on Patreon for different levels, there are going to be different benefits for you with the book club. So if you're interested in reading the book club books with me, you want to support me on Patreon at a specific level, then each month before the book club reads the book, I'll send you the book. Sometimes with gifts. If enough people do that, then it makes it a lot easier for me to get books in bulk, so that the books are cheaper for all of us and we can get books together. So we'll talk about that as time goes on, but I just wanted to make that announcement here so that if you're interested in reading some of the book club books with me, with the rest of the book club group, then join me, support me on Patreon, and if you come in at a specific level, then you'll be getting books in advance so you can read it with the book club. So I used to do book boxes. I still do book boxes. I do book boxes with notes of books that I've already read. These book boxes would not have notes because for most of the books I haven't yet read them, which is the Vlogmas part of this challenge. But in general, I would send you gifts along with the book to help you enjoy reading the book a little bit more, I hope. So yeah, if enough people come in on that tier, then we could do like wholesale purchases of the books. So that's how it works, because a lot of these books are not cheap, guys. They're not cheap. But that's enough housekeeping for now, right? We do the housekeeping so that we can put the house on show. Here's the house on show. Today's video, today's Vlogmas challenge is the Run Right Reads Book Club book list, reading list for 2023. So here are the months and here are the books. So we're starting off January pretty strong. This One Sky Day, also known as Poppy Show, depending on when you buy the book and where you buy the book, is Leonie Ross's latest novel. I haven't read anything from her. I'm very excited to read this book because I've heard only good things about this book. So our book club pick for January 2023 is This One Sky Day, also goes by the name of Poppy Show by Leonie Ross. In February, we're going to be mixing things up a little bit, and we're going to be reading a cookbook. I know that sounds weird, but I do read cookbooks. And Diasporica is a cookbook by Ileana Masonette, and it's not just a cookbook. It's also not just a Puerto Rican book. It is a book about the diaspora, and it celebrates our culture, celebrates Caribbean ethnicity, Caribbean heritage that is displayed in a lot of ways through our food. So we're going to be reading Diasporica. We're going to be reading Diasporica by Ileana Masonette, and hopefully cooking some recipes or trying out some things that we learned from that book. That's February. In March, we're going to be reading The Bone Readers by Jacob Ross. This is a thriller, and I've heard really good things. As a matter of fact, this book was first recommended to me by someone who is German living in the UK, Mel. Hi, Mel. If you're watching, thank you so much for bringing this book, this series to my attention, because it had slipped under my radar. And Mel told me about it. She said, do you read Caribbean books? You love Caribbean books? Read this, because even if you didn't read Caribbean books, you love this one. And so I'm very excited to read it along with you guys. So yeah, that's the book club book for March 2023. Oh, did I mention we're playing challenge? So if you've read any of these books already, then you get points. Of course, I get no points. I get no points because I haven't read. I've only read one thing. Two things. I've read two things from this list. So I'm not getting a 0 today, guys. I'm not getting a 0. But yeah. In April, the April book is How Not to Drown in a Glass of Water by Angie Cruz. Very excited about that one because I haven't read anything yet by Angie Cruz, but I've heard really good things about her books. She wrote Dominicana, which, like I said, haven't read, but very excited to read Angie Cruz in 2023 along with you guys. Hopefully you'll be participating. So if you've read this already, then you get a point. The May book is a big book, so you're going to want to get the book early so you can start on May 1st or start whenever so we can discuss it in May. I've already read this one. It's one of my favorite books of all time. It is A House for Mr. Bezos by V.S. Naipaul, Trinidadian author. So V.S. Naipaul, he won a Nobel Prize, he won the Booker Prize, he won a lot of awards for his writing. And this, I think, is one of his finest novels. A House for Mr. Bezos by V.S. Naipaul is our May book club pick. In June, we're going to be reading some nonfiction, Things I Have Withheld by Kai Miller. Kai Miller is a Jamaican author. He lives in England, and he writes about Caribbean life, but he also writes a lot about his life as a queer man, a gay man. And so because June is Pride Month, we're going to be reading Kai Miller's Things I Have Withheld, nonfiction essays in June. There's a little bit of planning that goes into this book club, you know, guys. There's a little bit of planning. That's why I'm hoping that Patreon is going to help me make this a little bit more sustainable. Anyway, in July, we're going to be reading The Farming of Bones by Edwidge Danticat. I've read a few things from Edwidge Danticat, and she's one of my favorite Caribbean contemporary writers. I've read her fiction and I've read her nonfiction, and I absolutely love just her writing, her voice, how she captures the essence of humanity. So The Farming of Bones by Edwidge Danticat is our July read. In August, we're going to be reading another book that I read a long time ago. Like, I read this book when I was a child. My brother, I think, was assigned this book in high school, like before I started high school. My brother is 3.5 years older than me, and so in that period where he was in high school and I wasn't, he was assigned this book, and I read it because I was a little kid and I wanted to do everything my brother was doing. And also the things that he wasn't doing. So, like, you know, his books that were assigned to him for school, he wasn't reading, but I wanted to read them for fun. So I read Green Days by the River by Michael Anthony when I was a child, and it's a story that I have thought about several times, many times, probably countless times throughout my life since then. And I wanted to revisit it. And so we're going to be reading it together. Green Days by the River by Michael Anthony is our August book club book. If you've read it, then you get a point, and I get a point because I've read it. So that's 2 from the list. Yay! In September, we're going to be reading another Nalo Hopkinson book, Midnight Robber by Nalo Hopkinson. Nalo Hopkinson writes some speculative fiction. So try to make the list a little bit diverse in terms of genres and in terms of voices and experiences. So yeah, Midnight Robber by Nalo Hopkinson is our book club pick for September. In October, we're going to be reading a newish book, When We Were Birds by Ayana Lloyd Banwo, which I have heard good things about. Really good things. She's a Trinidadian writer, and I've only heard positive reviews. So I also don't look out for negative reviews, so that could be why. I'm biased, guys. I'm biased. But yeah, that's the book we're going to be reading in October. So join me, won't you? In November, we're going to be reading a book that's been translated from Spanish. So if you read Spanish, you're invited to read the Spanish version, of course. So we're going to be reading Before Night Falls.
En español, Antes que anochezca, autobiografía.
By Reynaldo Arenas. And bonus points to watch the film adaptation, because there's a film adaptation, there's an English version and a Spanish version. So, you could consume all three and let us know your thoughts on the comparison. That's what we're going to be doing in November. And in December, we're rounding out December with a short book, because December, like I have found this year, December is a little unpredictable for reading. So we're going to be reading The Housing Lark by Samuel Selvon, author of The Lonely Londoners, which we read last year, I think. Next year we're going to be reading The Housing Lark by him. So yeah, those are the books that we're going to be reading for the Run Right Reads Book Club in 2023. Would love it if you join us, because this is a Vlogmas challenge. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these 12 titles and what your thoughts are on them, because we're not just comparing tallies in these videos. We'd also love to compare notes. If you've read these books and have thoughts on them, share them down below. Like I said, I've read 2 of the 12, so my score is not 0. That's a win. So thank you so much for watching. Would love it if you join me on Patreon. My link is down below if you want to subscribe, support me over there. And of course, like I said, if you come in at a specific tier, you'll see when you go on Patreon, you'll see what the tiers are and how you can benefit. If you come in at a specific tier, I will make sure that you get a book for the book club every month, so you can join me in reading. But I'd love to have you join me in the book club, whether you're supporting me on Patreon or not. Would love to have you read these books and discuss them with me, because I get so much value out of discussing Caribbean books with people who are both of Caribbean heritage and people who aren't. Love to hear the different perspectives on these books that represent my heritage, my culture. I'm so proud to be Caribbean. I'm so proud to be Caribbean, so proud to be a part of this diaspora that these books are representing. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more. We'll be back soon with another one, and I hope you'll join me for it. Until then, happy reading. Bye.